Giraffe X Soul Killer.
Thank you for joining us today. We want to talk about diabetes, and here with me, I have a guest, and I'll let her introduce herself and tell us about her research on diabetes.
My name is Angela Wanjiru, and thank you for having me here.
Okay. The first thing, we'll set a context setting. So I want us to give us insight about diabetes. Why is it important to talk about diabetes today?
Diabetes is a very important subject because it's a chronic disease that affects millions of people worldwide, and it affects both genders, male and female, and it does not discriminate the age. It can affect children and also aged people. So it is very important that we have this discussion today.
Oh, yeah. And okay, now we want to start this topic. Let's say like it's like a subtopic. So we're going to talk about general understanding about diabetes. What do you understand by the word diabetes?
Okay, diabetes is a chronic disease, first of all. It affects how the body uh, uptakes its energy because it's a deficiency of insulin or a resistance of insulin by the body. So, insulin mostly helps in the conversion of food to energy, carbohydrates to energy. So, when there is a deficient, that is when a person is said to be diabetic.
Oh, yeah. So, and what are the factors and risks about factors or causes or risk
Okay,
of
so
diabetes?
the risk factors that cause diabetes mostly are the first one is age. It can affect whether a child or the aged people, and mostly that is in type 1 for the children and type 2 for the aged people. It can also affect people who are obese, people who are not in the right weight. It also affects people who have do not have good lifestyle behaviors, people who drink, people who smoke. Yeah, so those are the people who are mostly affected by diabetes.
Oh, and is there any a certain population or demographic that is higher
Yeah,
to
oh,
getting diabetes?
okay. People who are at risk mostly are the aged people because as they grow old, their body continues to like degenerate. So their insulin levels go lower, and therefore they are at a higher risk of getting diabetes. Yeah.
And are there any early? Okay, can you be able to detect or diabetes at an early stage or?
Yeah, diabetes can be detected at an early stage, first of all, through early screening. So that is where we do the random blood sugar tests. When you come to the clinic, that is one of the things that people, as healthcare providers, we do. We take your regular blood sugar. So from there, we can determine how your blood sugar levels have been over a period of time, and then we can be able to diagnose how your levels have been and whether you have diabetes or not.
Yeah, talking about how you can be able to detect diabetes at an early age, and what are the signs and symptoms that someone should look out for?
Okay, so first of all, the signs and symptoms, one of them is regular thirst, never-ending thirst. That is one of the signs that tells us that it is definitely diabetes. We also have hunger, which is never-ending. You want to continuously eat. And also there is blurry vision, there is sudden loss of weight. So those are mostly the signs that tell us that it could be a case of diabetes.
Okay, and earlier there I heard you talking about regular screening and okay, what is the importance of regular screening and who should consider getting such treatment,
Okay.
such tests?
Okay, the people who should consider mostly are the aged. As I have said, they are prone to getting the disease more, and also pregnant women because of the changes in hormone. They can get something called gestational diabetes. So it is very important for them to also get the regular and early screening. And also people, adolescents, I've said it does not really discriminate the age. So people should go get tested and figure out whether they have diabetes or not.
So, living with these people, like someone who is living with diabetes, so what challenges do such patients with diabetes face in their daily life?
Okay, so for challenges, first of all, it's maintaining the blood sugar levels because some may go high, we call it hyperglycemic, or some may go low. So that one need to be a challenge for them to manage. Also the diet, because they have to have a strict diet so that they can be able to manage their blood sugar levels. And also exercise, because they always need to be active. So most of them tend to be sedentary and just sit around. So that may be also a challenge to them. And it can also affect their management of the disease.
And can you give us maybe like an insight on how mental health can help those patients with diabetes?
Okay, so we advocate for people who have diabetes to manage their stress levels because stress can also affect the blood sugar levels because it can bring about diseases, other diseases like hypertension. High blood pressure can affect diabetes. There is a correlation. So we advise them to seek help and also seek counseling and mostly manage their stress levels so that they can be able to manage their condition effectively.
Moving to the next segment, it's about treatment advancement or advances. What are the current treatment? Available for diabetes?
Okay, so the first line treatment for diabetes, first of all, is insulin, which is mostly injectable. And that one is mostly used by people who have type 1 diabetes because it's an autoimmune one. Someone is born with it. And also the second line of treatment is oral diabetes medication, where they swallow the tablets that help manage the sugar levels. And also we also manage with their diet nutrition-wise, where we are able to regulate the kind of foods that they are eating so that they can manage their glucose levels.
Oh, and I've heard you talking about diabetes has two types of diabetes.
Yeah, it has two types. Actually, there are three. Yes, so let me expound on that. It has type 1 diabetes, which we call juvenile diabetes. It affects children mostly, and it is the one that I'm calling autoimmune. It affects the pancreatic cells. So it does not, the pancreas is not effectively able to produce insulin. Also there is type 2 diabetes, which mostly it's because of resistance of insulin, and gestational diabetes, which is mostly found in pregnant women. Yeah, and it disappears after childbirth.
Oh.
Yeah.
At least today I've learned something. I never knew something like that.
Yes.
Moving to the next segment, it's about addressing misconceptions and stigma. So what are the most common myths and misconceptions about diabetes?
Mostly on the myths, they normally say that people who take too much sugar that they can contract diabetes. That is a very bad myth because it can affect anyone, regardless of your sugar intake. And also they say it is mostly found in older people. As I've said earlier, it can affect people of any age, adolescents, young children, old people. So those are some of the myths that I've encountered. Yeah.
And how can the society come together and help these people living with diabetes?
Okay, so the community can go a long way in supporting them by encouraging those people to have a healthy diet, and also having these barazas and talking about the disease so that it can create awareness, and also debunk those myths and misconceptions so that they can be able to manage that disease as a community. Yeah.
I'm talking about creating awareness. So how big is the public health issue? Is diabetes globally?
Okay, with the statistics, currently the diabetes is prevalent, it's very prevalent, and the numbers are rising on a daily because people do not know how to manage, and also because of the myths and misconceptions. So it is a really prevalent disease. I am not really sure of the numbers, but it is on the rise. Yeah.
And about getting awareness, what role does the government or health providers or communities can play in taking part in talking about
Okay.
tackling diabetes?
Okay. First of all, if it's the government, they can subsidize the treatment of diabetes because it can be quite expensive, and also empowering the healthcare providers to go out to the community, to reach out to the community, to conduct health education on people so that they can know the diabetes and manage it effectively, and also provide equipment like the blood testing machines to the people who have diabetes.
And what advice would you give to the policymakers to address the diabetes epidemic?
The policymakers should ensure that diabetes is taken seriously in the country by ensuring that there are clinics designated to manage that condition, and people who are trained to manage that condition, so that it is not just a general healthcare provider managing it, it is a specific person. Yeah.
And before we wrap up, or as we wrap up, what advice would you give to someone who has just been diagnosed with diabetes?
That it is not a life death sentence. It is very manageable with diet and good nutrition, exercise, adherence to medication that will help the person manage the symptoms and also the condition as well. And also seek support from family, from friends, from healthcare providers. It will go a long way in management of the disease.
And for those who are living with diabetes, what are the key aspects of living a healthy life?
Okay, the key aspects of living a healthy life, we advocate for nutrition, good nutrition, balanced diet, good exercise because they need to be active to manage their glucose levels, and also adherence to medication, the insulin or the orals, they need to take them religiously. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And I hope you answered and helped those who are viewing our panel to do what is required for them to stay healthy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.